with Kirtan by Samanvita. Hare Krishna Samanvita till 11:30. Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare, Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Om Gopan, 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 शिल प्रभुपाद की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की thank you very much, Samanvita, for a beautiful kirtan. It was very devotional. So the next Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all for coming for Sunday please. The next Hare Krishna Prabhu. Next segment of the program is Bhagavad Gita class. Today we have a wonderful speaker, His Grace Satyarupa Gauranga Prabhu. So, I mean, he doesn't need an introduction, but as an etiquette. So Prabhu is a very wonderful devotee. And he does a lot of services. He is our temple Sankirtan leader, meaning he takes care of book distribution of Srila Prabhupada. He does that so wonderfully with the help of other Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. And also, not only that, he does various services as well. He coordinates Sunday Feast program. It's not very easy. He schedules the kirtan and he conducts the program. So very wonderfully. So, and also not only that, any service or anything I need, I can always rely on him. He's very reliable devotee and surrendered to Guru and Krishna. So it's so wonderful to hear from him today. So with that, let's welcome Satyarupa Gauranga Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Satyarupa. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for attending today's Sunday Feast program. Can you move forward? Definitely, I will not hurt anyone. Yeah. So, Prabhu can come forward. Prabhu, can you project 18.54? Sure. $18.54. Prabhu. We'll do short kirtan, Jaya Radha Madhava, to invoke the auspiciousness. Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Giridhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Munatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari. Vijana Vallabha, Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Munatira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna. We'll discuss today the sloka number 18.54. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Na Shochati Na Kankshati, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Madbhaktim Labhate Param, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Shochati Na Kankshati, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Madbhaktim Labhate Param. One more time. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Shochati Na Kankshati, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Madbhaktim Labhate Param. Okay. 4-5 devotees. Yeah, ma'am.
Brahma Bhuta Prasan Atman Sochati na Paushati Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bhaktim Bhavate Param
Yes.
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Chantana Sakanshati Namah Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bhaktim Labhate Param
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasochati na Kamshati Kama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bhaktim Labhate Param. Prabhu, any other Prabhus?
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Sochati na Panchati Tamak Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bhaktim Labhate Param
Brahma Bhuta, being one with the absolute. Prasannatma, fully joyful, na, never. Shochati, laments, na, never. Kankshati, desires. Sama, equally disposed. Sarveshu, to all. Sarveshu. Bhuteshu, living entities. Madbhaktim, my devotional service. Labhate, gains. Param, transcendental. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and became fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward a very living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Before we are discussing, I will pray to my gurus. Om Agnana Timirandasya Agnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha Hare Krishna Karuna Tindo Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Indubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you Satyasara Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of all devotees. Though I am not qualified, I took it as a service for my purification. And if you feel like anything useful, and that is because of our earlier acharyas, if anything wrong, maybe my ignorance and understanding problem. With that, we will discuss this verse 18.54. So 18th chapter is like a summary of Bhagavad Gita. Like after setting up the stage for the 6 chapters and the like various yogas like Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Then Krishna elaborated 7 to 12 chapters, the Bhakti Yoga. And later on the last 6 chapters, like again discussing various aspects of Devamon and divine qualities and how the modes of material nature works. And finally, in the 18th chapter, like Krishna wants to give the summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita. So this is like devotees or anyone, it's very, very important. Brahma Bhuta, like what is this Brahma Bhuta stage? Brahma Bhuta means being one with the absolute. So we'll see like how we are becoming an absolute and what is our, so like we'll discuss what is our current state and what is our goal. Like this we will discuss. In this particular sloka, it talks about the objective and situation once we are in or perfect our sadhana. Like then once we are becoming one with absolute, then what is the outcome? Krishna is saying fully joyful and never laments, never desires anything, and we will be equally disposed to all living entities. So in that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. If you see this chapter like 18.49, I will give the little before verses and I will give the little after verse so that we can understand what is the context Krishna is speaking in this particular verse. So 18.49, Krishna is saying, one who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. So one who is self-controlled, like we are all following 4 regulative principles. So that is like one of the self-control, and who is unattached and disregards all material enjoyments. We have a choice to go out, but we are here to discuss Krishna Katha, right, on Sunday. So what happens by that practice of renunciation, the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. So we are not like whatever we are doing in the in this stage, like unattachment, detachment and self-control, the freedom from the reactions, we will not get the reactions. If we see that 18.50, Kunti, O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain the supreme perfection stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So he's saying that once we are in that materially positioned in that stage, then we will move on to the next. That is one stage of perfection. But Krishna's talking about the supreme perfectional stage in the 18.50. Then 51 to 53, it is like 3 verses. Being purified by his intelligence, controlling the mind with determination, whatever the devotional service we are performing, and giving the objects of the sense gratification, being controlled from that like false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, acceptance of the material things, free from false proprietorship, then we will be peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. So now in this verse, Krishna is saying, once who are controlled this anger, lust, greed, free from false ego, false strength, a false identification of the body, Then we are coming on to the Brahma Bhuta stage. Then the later verse, Krishna is saying, ones who are in this stage, who are in, they can attain this stage only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of the God. That is what our all objective and aim. We don't want to come again to this material nature again and again. We want to go to the kingdom of the God. 81.55, it is clearly saying, Bhaktya mama vijanati yevan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato gnatva vishate tadanantaram. They will go after their practice, the sincere practice and the devotional service. They are okay to enter kingdom of the God. I think we discussed earlier also, if we want to come US, we need to fulfill something, right? Like we need to complete a TOEFL exam, or whatever the visa category is mentioned, we need to fulfill that. Unless and until we cannot come. So it is not that if we want to come US, it is not buying the tickets. That is not the only thing. We need a little preparation, the qualification before that. If it is like at least we need to have work experience in that category if we want to come, like company exchange of the employees, in that category we need to. So we need to fulfill the criteria. Same in the devotional service also, like in the spirituality also, we need to fulfill this requirement in order to enter into the kingdom of the God. So what is the qualification he is saying? Brahma Bhuta stage. So we will in detail discuss what is this Brahma Bhuta stage and what are the advantages. The next verse Krishna said that we are going eligible to enter into the kingdom of the God, and we also get the peaceful in this current life also. So what are those supporting verses? And we will discuss in detail. So we often think that, is that really spiritual world exists? Why we are here? Why we are coming here again and again? So Krishna said in 13.22, Purusha prakrutistohi bhunte prakriti jangunan karanam gunasangosya tad asad yoni janmashu. So the living entity in this material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. This is due to the association of that material nature. Thus he meets with the good and evil among the various species. Okay. So we will understand this verse, so that what is our current situation, then what is the next level we need to achieve. So in order to progress in our material job also, first we'll see where are we and what is the layer above me, so that I need to aspire for the next level if I want to go. That is where I need to know. So here also the three modes of material nature is there, and what is the next level? That is that we are going to first we need to know thoroughly what is my current position, so that we will see what is the next position, and we need to aspire to get that position. So it is explained in the second chapter, the living entities transmigrating from one body to another body. As we are leaving the old dress end of the day or next day morning, end of the day, like we change the dress and we will wear new dress. In the same way, the body also, once it gets deteriorates, no longer it is livable, then the soul leaves this body and takes the another body. So in the modern science also, I read somewhere, every 7 years, in the body, cells will die and new cells will born. So every 7 years we completely change our cells. As if like the 7 years ago, whatever the cell I have, no cell is present now. means completely changing the body. So not only after dying, after leaving the current body, we are attaining the new body. So before that, in the present life also, we are changing the body for every 7 years. That is how, right? Now we can see small baby, and small baby grown bigger and bigger, boyhood, youthhood, then like middle age, old age, and middle and die. So we have seen the 6 stages in this life itself. Krishna said that in the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, we are changing the body from once this life over, we change another life, the soul enter into the another body. So we know all this, but I want to elaborate this bit further. So as long as, so why we are changing the bodies here after dying? Why we are taking another body? Because the false identification, we are captivated by this false manifestation. He is to continue transmigrating as long as he is captivated by this false manifestation. The transmigrating from one body to another will happen, because we want to desire it over the material nature. We want to lord it over the material nature. So even though we are undesirable to have another body, we are getting it. It is because material nature is acting on us. So under the influence of material nature, the entity born sometime as a saintly person, sometime as a man, sometimes worm, sometimes bird, beast, it can enter any life, right? So based on the material nature and based on his karma. So how he is put into such bodies is explained here in this loka. It is due to association of the different modes of material nature. If I am doing so much good, I will be awarded as a better body. If I am doing bad or tamasic, I will assign the another body. If I am acting mode of passion, Krishna awards accordingly that type of body. So as if like if I wanted to run, like always dreaming about running, I want to be run faster. So Krishna think about Krishna or the material nature. Material means Krishna in the form of material nature. Okay, if you are too much attached with running, then this man body is not suitable. Why not you get a cheetah body, a panther body? Even it is more convenient, congenial for that type of work. So we will be awarded with that body. So being a human, we need to deliver better things. If we are satisfied with those running, Prabhupada says that one of the class, what he is doing, surfing. No, Prabhupada had like he is suffering, right? We had that in class. So Prabhupada again asked, no, Prabhupada, they are not suffering, they are surfing when they are walking on the sea or something. Yeah.
They're playing something, what they are doing.
Yeah. Prabhupada asked what they are doing. They are from, so one of the devotees says they are surfing. So Prabhupada is suffering. Why? Because so Prabhupada, they are like, no, they thought that like Prabhupada had like not heard correctly. But Prabhupada, the point is, he is wasting his life. He is going to aquatic body next life. So he is going to suffer. He is degrading, right? So the same, we are in the material nature, awarded with the better body. We are like destined to deliver higher duties. So what is the duty? Duty is in Sanskrit is dharma. So what is the dharma of the human body? The dharma is, the definition given is sustain of one's existence. That is the dharma. The meaning of the dharma is See, what is the dharma of sugar? It is sweet. If it is able to sustain that dharma, then we will call it as a sugar. If it is not sweet, then it is no longer sugar. We need to consider it as another thing. So the existence of the soul, what is this, material or spirit? So spiritual. So there are like we already learned in previous classes, one of the other classes. So the soul has a choice with align with material nature or the spiritual nature, spirit. So, but what happens, because it is acting, it is not acting. If the soul is not means not practicing the spiritual nature, then material nature and come and act. Then modes will act on him. Then according to the modes, if he is working, then he is based on his activities, he will award the bodies accordingly. So he need to change that conception. Okay, I should. So we should consciously think that, okay, I should not act helplessly. Whatever material nature, some people say that like I am hardworking from 7 to whatever 9 to 5 job. I'm taking care of my family. I'm doing good. I'm doing well to do. I have insurance, health insurance, everything. I'm good. What is the problem? What happening is he's acting according to the material nature. Tomorrow, some problems comes, recession comes. If he is not means working properly, the things, then he will be suffering accordingly, because the material nature is acting on him based on the availability. He is doing that, and based on his activities, he will award the next body. So how to change that conception? That the change can be affected only by hearing from authoritative sources. We should know that what we need to do, our duties, authoritative sources. So the best example, Arjuna. Arjuna is hearing from Krishna, right? The signs of God he heard. So Prabhupada says that material, the body is like a diseased nature. It is like the body, we are in diseased condition. So we will not be able to identify properly. So this thing, so it is like completely conditioned. Unless and until somebody says that, it cannot realize it lost its original nature. So we need to say, suppose if anybody, Prabhupada always says, whenever we are sleeping, so one sense definitely continuously work, that is hearing. That is when other senses like tasting, touch, all those things are not work, but ears will work attentively. That's the reason we are putting alarm and waking up, right? So hearing is the most important. So from where we have to hear? From authoritative sources. And whoever the guru is coming from bona fide sampradaya and a proper scripture. If we hear anything else and just act accordingly, haphazardly, if we are following, we might losing the time, we are wasting our life. So the living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate the material nature, right? And gradually and proportionally, as he reduces his desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy the spiritual happiness, right? So Suta Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisaranya. The sages asked, him to summarize the whole range of revealed scripture and present most essential part so that the fallen people or the people in general might easily take up. Okay, the first question is that what all revealed scriptures are telling? Can you please summarize and tell very shortly? They know, right? Like the people in Kali Yuga are short-lived, diseased, uh, exploited. They are very unfortunate. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. I'm not saying. So the one of the first 6 questions they asked at the stages of Naimisharanya, then Suta Goswami is telling the first question, answer. So 2 different types of occupation there for human being. One is Pravritti Marga, the path of sense enjoyment. Another one is Nivritti Marga, that is path of renunciation. So the path of enjoyment is inferior. The path of spiritual, the renunciation, which is superior. So the material nature, the material existence of living being is in a diseased condition of the actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence, the dharma, right? The dharma of the soul is spiritual existence. So Brahmabhuta existence where the life is eternal, right? And blissful and full of knowledge, whereas the body is temporary and limited. So you understood, right? 2 characteristics. The material nature is temporary and short-lived, and it is miserable. Whereas in the other hand, the spiritual one is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Whenever the spiritual nature, like eternal thing, is aligned with the material, it will start giving the miseries, right? When we buy like iPhone 4, that time it is very nice and working. Afterwards, whenever the new releases OS comes, it stops works, right? Because a new loaded of extra processor running, battery becoming weak, because that is the nature of the it has some duration. After that, it will stop work. So the living nature, so the spirit is eternal and super soul is eternal. When the eternal is aligned with eternal, it is a compatible. But when the spirit is aligned with the material nature, which is a short-lived temporary, it is not compatible. It gives the miseries. So renunciation, we are thinking like renunciation for ultimate good is certainly better occupation than enjoyment in the diseased condition of the life. We might get a little happiness if we go out and stay there, but we will be in that loop. So we want to stop or cut that loop. That is why we come and stop and like looking back, hey, what we are doing. Hey, who am I? Why am I doing this? Okay. Prabhupada says like if anybody eats, sleeps much, Prabhupada says, in how many lifetimes you are sleeping? We are only not sleeping. All animals also sleeping. We are only not eating. All animals also eating. Okay, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These 4 is common for both living entity and any living entity. It is common. But Vishesha Guna is there for human being. That is the consciousness. That consciousness, if we are not utilizing, then we will be losing this opportunity, which we don't know. We are awarded human body again or not. We don't know. That is the mercy of Krishna, material nature. Nobody knows that algorithm, how it works. So I don't want to test it, right? So one should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of devotional service. So the devotional service of the Lord without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action and philosophical speculation, then this can lead to the solace to our perpetual solace to in his service. Okay, so here as we discussed, right? So soul is a living being, has his eternal form in the spiritual existence. In the we are like we have a form in the spiritual existence. That is what revealed scripture is saying, and we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we want to separately enjoy from Krishna. So we got awarded this body. So the servitor and the service is in the absolute realm or the same, at the same level. Here, if I want to be a servant of someone, I feel like I'm getting exploited, right? Always. The master always thinks I'm not serving properly. I'm always thinking I'm getting exploited. So this capitalist and the worker problem is there from time immemorial, not now. Maybe in the forms of different forms. But we are the servant of Krishna. It is in the absolute realm. It's a different. We know how Krishna reciprocated to Arjuna. He became a charioteer for Arjuna, right? Charioteer and messenger to menial jobs in those days. Krishna does both of the things for Pandavas, right? One time he went as a messenger to subside the war, and he became a charioteer for Arjuna. And Krishna is the Bhakta Vatsala. How he is ready to defend his devotees. He ready to break his vow, and he wants to stop Bhishma, right? When Bhishma was like firing up arrows on Arjuna, so Krishna went and take with a wheel. We have seen that photo. How he is like, looks like Arjuna is servant of Krishna? No. So in the absolute realm, he wants to show us how it works. Same, the servitor and service are at the same in the absolute realm. So Brahmabhuta Pratannatma, the Brahmabhuta stage situation is that one is when we are in that stage, we need to identify that I am not the matter, I am the spirit. That is the stage, Brahmabhuta stage. Then you start giving the services to the Lord. Without now, initially we might have a mix of material benefits, tinge of material desires. We are mixing it, but when we practicing slowly, then what we will do, we will be devoid of that material desires. We will not mix up the services with our material desires. Then that will be a pure devotional service. So that Brahmabhuta stage. So how? So that is like I'm not the body. I'm the spirit. I'm the servant of Krishna. I'm giving the devotional service to Krishna. But how to sustain that? Right? That is the question. So one time I can do it, but it is not a one-time job. It is a continuous job, right? So how we can sustain that there is a spiritual engagement? Otherwise, we will not be in the Brahmabhuta stage. Again, we will fall down to this material engagement. We often see, right? Gnanis, when they are like feeling right, oh, this material nature giving the problems. That's why they don't want to engage in any material engagement. Then what they do? They start become sannyasi, devotional. They do some service, and they become gives the service, and they become sannyasi. After some time, they will start hospitals. The philanthropic activities start with the mode of goodness. So then again they enter into the politics. They don't want to gain anything. They are in that platform only, sannyasi platform. but they start philanthropic activities, they become political leader. Why? Why this hospital is required? That is a state job. State will start hospital. Why you are doing that? No, you have to start hospital for not the temporary disease purification. It's a material disease. We all have the material disease. We are identifying with the body. Though I am thinking I am healthy, I am not healthy in my consciousness. I am thinking I am the body, right? So as long as I am at that platform, I will be stuck in this material world. Body after the body, I will be taking. So we need to start a hospital which should cure the material diseases. That is what is called. This hospital, we only not like performing arti and all. We discuss philosophy, we learn, we want to change the conception. So that is the like once he gets cured, how he get cured in the material disease, he is suffering from the material disease, or how proportionately he is suffering with the disease, how we can identify? How much he is fixed in Krishna consciousness, how much he is into devotional service. Then accordingly, we are in the under like Brahma Bhuta stage. So Brahma Bhuta stage means we are acting above the three modes of material nature, not the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. We are not working under three modes. So when we work under three modes, we will start getting the reactions. Once we are working above three modes, Suddha Sattva, which is on the platform of Brahma Bhuta, you will not get any reaction. That is why this will give na shochati na kankshati. Once he is under that, he will not lament if he lost something also. So it is associated with the body. Okay, it is easy to tell anyway, but we need to come, at least we need to know that is the what our goal, right? We keep thinking, we should not forget the goal, right? We also, I think like I want to come US today and tomorrow I am here. No, it is not that. It requires some preparation. So we are also under preparation, but we should not forget our aim. So I heard in one lecture, it is very important to keep the important thing as an important. It is very important to keep the important thing as an important. You got it, right? So the ultimate goal should be, what is our goal? To keep the ultimate goal is our goal. When we are switching away from the ultimate goal and we are acting normally, again we are sleeping. Hope I'm not confusing you. So we need to fix it up in this Brahma Bhuta stage, which is acting above three modes of material nature. Okay, so that's what Prabhupada always says, that when we are slipping from that Brahma Bhuta stage, these hospitals will come, philanthropical activities come, all those things will come. It's okay, it is in mode of goodness, but we are under not Brahma Bhuta state. We should not forget that, right? We are not denying anything, but what is our aim? To keep the main aim as the main aim. We are not slipping away from that. So, to attain the platform of pure devotional service, one has to become spiritually pure and attain Brahmabhuta platform, which is beyond material anxiety and material discrimination. When one approaches pure devotional service after realizing Brahman, one becomes attracted to the pure devotional service. At such time, by rendering devotional service, one gets a spiritual body with purified senses. This is what. So we are going to attain the purified senses. Once the senses are purified, we will get that spiritual body. Okay, so with that body, we are ready to enter into the Goloka. I think Maharaja, when visited, he shows, right? So how the material nature, constellation, and how different lokas, why we need Brahma Samhita and all. So Goloka Damini Jadamni Kaleka Satya, Devi Mahesh Dama Suteshu Teshu. So Devi Dam is there, about that Mahesh Dam is there, then Golok Dam is there. We need to know. So that's why when we submit our documentation to H1B, one of the, where are you in your organization? I'm sure everyone would have submitted that. I'm so and so senior software engineer or project manager. Until the CEO, we need to give the entire chunk. We need to aware of it, right? Then only we can aspire for it. So the first thing is that before we are aiming for that goal. So here to attain the platform of pure devotional service, one has to become spiritually pure. How we can do that spiritually pure? In Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.19 and 170. Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tato paratvena nirmalam hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So we need to be sarvopadi vinurmuktam. We might be having a different hats. I am the head of the family, one hat. I am like I'm working here. That is another hat. I have this much money. I have another hat. We are wearing several hats. We need to remove everything. This is a different. Okay, we are not condemning, but we need to keep put in a distance. We need to demarcate properly, right? So are we aligning with Brahma Buddha stage or not? So once we are Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam, then we are keeping all these material designations away, then our false ego will go away little, right? Then it will give the way to do these services. Prabhupada often says that when our boy mischiefs, right, then he will be given with a toy to play with it. So similarly, the sannyasis who are means sometimes they are sannyasi and they become philanthropists, right? We discussed that. So why they have not given with the proper chanchalam hi manapartha. The soul is so vibrant. So we need to give the devotional service. Once we realize, once we frustrated with the these material diseases or material problems, we cannot be keep quiet. We need to give the other tools, which is the devotional service. If we give the devotional service, then these philanthropic activities will not come in the middle. It is like we are continuously under Brahma Bhuta stage, which is above 3 modes of material nature, which is devotional service. So that's how Krishna says twice. This is again Maharaj quoted 934 and 1865. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namas madhyayadi namaskuru atmanam madbhakta. So 4 things Krishna said. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, becoming my devotee, offer obeisances unto me, and worship me. These 4. So these things, if we keep in the middle of our life, then it helps us to put ourselves in Brahma Bhuta state. Once we are put under that Brahma Bhuta stage, then we are eligible for, like, we can purify our senses, then we can go back home to Godhead. So And Maharaj said a couple of verses. I want to quote. I like and I want to repeat the same. This is the Manvana Bhav Madbhaktaha Majjan Jimam Namaskuru. It is so important. That is why Prabhupada Krishna repeated this verse twice, once in 9th chapter and 18th chapter. So anyone said twice in the scripture, we need to understand it is most important. And the similar kind of verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janatyasu Vairagyam Gnanam Cha Yad Ahaitutim. So, by rendering devotional service unto personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from this material world. So, often, right, our scriptures, I at least myself, I say that many times we see wonderful lectures and they say that you need to get detachment, you need to do that, this. But never said that how to do that, right? Many of the other lectures when I heard from other than ISKCON, I'm not like blaming, but at least myself, I observed that. If I went to the doctor and doctor quoted so many hi-fi words and said that you are suffering from this disease. Okay, you identified the disease, how I get cured? If he is not saying that, what is the use of knowing that I am suffering from that disease, right? But in Srimad Bhagavatam and all said that how I get causeless knowledge of how I will get the knowledge and how I get the detachment from this world. That is by rendering devotional service unto personality of Godhead. It is clearly said. So once we are free from that attachment to this material nature and detachment, how we will get Vasudeva unto Krishna, Bhagavati unto personality of Godhead, Bhakti Yoga, contact of devotional service, Prayojitaha, being applied. Right? Janayati, that does produce. Janayati means produces. Whenever I do or render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that will generate knowledge and detachment. And the same verse in 3.32.23, but the last line is Janaya Brahma Darshanam. And the rest of the three sentence lines are same. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Vairagyam Gnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. We also realize that self-realization. And that self-realization, once we get that self-realization, when we do, first we need to, we are now we know that theoretically I am not this body, I am the spirit. But when you do Vasudeva Bhagavati, when you do the devotional service, then you will realize your Atma. Oh, I am not this body, I am this soul. Then what happens? Krishna says in 81.55, one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of the God. In that self-realization stage, you will understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once your relationship is clear and you understood properly, then you are eligible to enter into the kingdom of the God. And 18.58, with that I will stop. So if you become consciousness of me, Matchitta Sarva Durgani, Mat Prasaditi Tarishyasi. What happens if I am not acting on that realm, like Brahma Bhuta stage? Then if you become consciousness of me, you will pass over the obstacles of the conditioned life of my grace. when you act on that platform, you will cross over the obstacles of the conditioned life. However, if you do not work in such consciousness, you act through false ego, not hearing me, and you will be lost. How we will be lost? We will take another body. We will be nowhere. Again, we will be in that cycle. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, jatare tayanam. Like we will be in the repeated cycle of birth and death, and we need to suffer again and again. That is the Brahmabhuta stage. Whatever the Krishna consciousness, whatever the service we are doing, is that Brahmabhuta stage only. Only thing is, sometimes it is mix of tinge of material desires, but slowly when our senses get purified, when we are increasing our sadhana, then material desires goes away, and we will slowly comes to the pure devotional service. We will get the pure devotional service. In that stage, we will realize the self, and we will realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we are okay to enter into the kingdom of the God. With that, I am stopping here. Srila Prabhupada ki.
So we will take question.
Yeah.
Devotees, question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. I had one question when I had initially read this verse. When you read the translation of Brahmabhuta, it says being one with the absolute. But we very clearly say that we are not going to be one with Krishna. Krishna is an independent personality, and we will always stay as an independent personality, whether we are here or whether we are in Golok Vrindavan. I know when the translation doesn't talk about that, but if you read this verse, maybe by somebody else who's translated, if somebody is not reading as it is, which they should, I'm not arguing with that, but Brahmabhuta as such, it says being one with absolute, which is one thing which I'm still confused about. How can we be one with absolute?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mataji. Actually, I skipped due to the lack of time, but I want to mention now anyhow. So the Brahmabhuta stage for the impersonalist, it is seized at the light, merging into the Brahma Jyoti. But for us, absolute, we means want to be absolute. How we will be become one with the absolute? By doing devotional service. This point is mentioned somewhere. I got that, so I'm supposed to like quote. So our service is never stops. Like we are part and parcel. So as long as I live in this body, my legs has to take care of it. Means legs have to walk. If legs say that, hey, I will not serve, then I cannot do anything. We are the part and parcel of Krishna. So we need to do devotional service. We have to align our thoughts with Krishna thoughts. Then it will be in the being one with absolute. So for the personalist like us, who believes in Krishna's form, Tribhangi form, so they will do devotional service in order to one with absolute. We never ever merge into. We should not understand like we are merging into Brahman or into Krishna like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe can I add one more?
Yes,
So,
Prabhu.
Mataji, also, it's qualitatively we are one with absolute, Satchidananda. So when you realize Atma, then you are qualitatively one with the Lord, but not quantitatively. That's another understanding.
Thanks.
So when God soul realizes I am eternal, Sat Chit Anand, when like ever blissful and ever knowledgeable, then it is like one with Krishna, but not quantitative. We are Anu and he is Vibhu. We are very little, he is very vast.
Any other questions online? Okay.
Thank you, Shambhu. Thanks for the class. Very good class. I was thinking, Prabhu, about Brahmabhuta and the fact that we still have material influence because we have families, kids, we go to work. So to achieve Brahmabhuta in today's age, would it be appropriate to say that whatever we do, whether at work, managing our families, if we do it with spiritual consciousness, then I don't have to separate my spiritual and material life. Because the problem today is, because of this material influence that I've already got, because of the state of me, right? I've seen that if we try to keep material and spiritual life separate, then we get confused. We often behave differently, right? Our thoughts, mind and heart is pure sometimes and sometimes not. So is it a good understanding or a right understanding that the first stage of Brahmabhuta is that whatever material duty you have got, and the ones that you cannot renounce, there's ones that we can renounce. Sunday, going outside versus temple. Those things we can make a choice, but not having a family is not a choice. Not going to work is not a choice. So is that a better good understanding of the first stage of Brahmabhuta?
Yeah, Prabhu. Prabhu, I think before this section, I just try to answer and Prabhu will add, Satsara Prabhu will add. So 18.48, if you see that every endeavor is covered by some fault. Just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. So Krishna is saying, here we are not able to perform what is the level Brahmabhuta stage is required, because every endeavor has fault. Even Krishna is mentioning that. So, but we need to try to minimize that fault and we need to progress. So as you said, like we need to be more conscious of Krishna. So we still continuing our endeavor. Then Krishna will give the direction. So accordingly, so then we will increase our sadhana and we will perspective will be maybe changes over the time. So you can.
So Prabhu, there is a verse Krishna speaks in 6th chapter. Yukta hara vyarasya, yukta chetasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yoga bhavati dukkha. Means, so Krishna understands that we cannot go to Brahmabhuta straight because we have a body, so we have prescribed duties to perform, families and things like that. So he said in the beginning stages you regulate it. You regulate your eating, regulate your sleeping, regulate your work, regulate your recreation. Also, Krishna says, don't do recreation. He's not saying that. You have recreation, but within the principles of the scriptures. So first you regulate and yoga bhavati dukkha through the means of yoga. Yoga means following bhakti yoga, the principles of bhakti yoga. So follow bhakti yoga, you regulate and balance your life. So thereby you progress. And at the highest stage, you come to Brahmabhuta platform. So it's not just immediately going there. So Krishna understands the duties that we all have to perform, but do it in alignment with the principles of bhakti. So that's how we do Prabhu. Online?
Nobody.
Thank you, thank you very much, Satyarupa Prabhu, for the brilliant class. So the takeaway for me from this verse is that we should aspire to transcend the three modes of material nature. So then after you transcend it, again there is a further goal. That's why it says, the pure devotional service starts. So we start to do pure devotional service and we attain the ultimate goal, which is reaching the lotus feet of Krishna. So that's the message. Brilliantly you presented. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So with that, devotees will rise up. We are going to do Aarti now. Today is Pujari is Prathamji Madhavi and the singer is Swarnamanji. And watching Aarti singer is Rahul.
Vishnupataya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से करो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की धाम 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 की यमुना भक्ति देवी की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंद और assembled और assembled श्री श्री गुरु नानक और श्री श्री प्रभुपाद all glories to Hare Krishna Temple of Austin King.
Namaste Narasimhaya.